Republican billionaires have always just kind of had this hatred of poor people. And it's never really been explained, right? I mean, these billionaires like Charles Koch, the surviving half of the Koch brothers, they typically don't have to deal with poor people on a daily basis. I'm willing to bet that Charles Koch has not had to walk past a homeless person on the street for decades. Oh, they might see him on the news. They might see him from the window of their, expensive cars, but they don't actually have to interact with them. So why are these billionaires launching this massive war on the poor? Well, there is a reason for it. But before we get into the reason, we got to talk about their latest escapades. And this is according to a phenomenal new report in Sludge from Alex Koch that explains that Charles Koch, again, the last remaining horrible Koch brother, along with the Bradley family, have been funneling millions of dollars into this group called the Foundation for Government Accountability. And what the Foundation for Government Accountability does, in addition to whining and dining Republican politicians and GOP leaders, is they go out there and they spread propaganda about people using SNAP benefits, food stamps, and Medicaid. They don't like people getting these government benefits, and they've been working with Republicans, spending again millions of dollars to try to get them to scale back those benefits and kick people off of them. In short, these billionaires are spending millions to punish people who barely make thousands. That's what's happening in the United States, and it's really ramped up within the past 12 months, according to this report. Now, as Koch reports, Koch isn't necessarily giving a ton of money himself to this organization. Instead, Koch's other groups, Donors Trust and Donors Action Fund, I believe it is, or Donors Trust Action, they are giving millions to the group. Those are the dark money groups that the Kochs are associated with and funding. So he's giving money, just not in his own name. He wants it coming to his from his other groups here. But again, the whole reason is to kick poor people off of government benefits. And now for the reason. Like I said, they don't have interactions every day with poor people. Probably don't even stop to think about them other than how they can cruelly hurt them. But the reason they're launching these attacks is because they believe it helps to shore up the Republican base. Poor people in the United States have been a scapegoat for the Republican Party since at least the last 40 years. Ronald Reagan came along with his welfare queen claims. And what did he do? He told people that these mooches, essentially, living off the government's teat, getting these checks every month, and they're living the high life. Well, you average American worker, you're going into the factory every day. You're going into the fields every day. You're going in, you're sitting in that cubicle every day, barely making enough money to survive. And it's because of those lazy welfare queens out there. We've got to punish them so that you can do better. Now, that was the extent of the connection that Republicans have really ever been able to establish. Your life sucks because a poor person is getting food stamps. They never explained how exactly that works, like why you're suffering because somebody else is on food stamps, because there is no connection, there is no correlation. Somebody getting food stamps down the street from you does not affect how much money your employer chooses to not pay you. Somebody getting food stamps on the other street doesn't affect your rising healthcare costs. It doesn't affect how much you pay to walk in and fill a prescription at CVS. But Republicans somehow managed to convince enough people that the poor people were the reason their life sucks. And the Koch brother, along with the Bradley family and the Bradley Foundation, are still at it today. It is an inhuman, cruel attack on poor people for no other reason than to convince slightly less poor people that they need to vote Republicans so that the very poor people no longer siphon whatever government benefits away from the people who wouldn't qualify for them in the first place. If it all sounds kind of confusing, that's because it is, because that's how Republican talking points work. There is no thread, There are no facts, there are no statistics to back them up. It's just a random assortment of statements that, for some reason, has actually worked pretty well to help brainwash too many people in this country. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.